I'm sitting here trying to be all prepared, and I forget I got my camera all closed up. That should be good. Maybe. We'll see. Let's move this so that I'm looking at it, kind of. And go to live chat. We don't have anyone in here yet, but it is just now 7:30, and I've not did one of these in quite some time. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes for people to get in here. Uh, got me some water ready, and I am going to pour myself a little bourbon here in a bit. I hope everyone's doing well. I have. Let me fix this a little bit. It's taken me a bit to get rested up from the trip, but I think I'm about there. Had to take care of a few things last week. Had some doctor's appointments I'd had to put off and wait until I got back to take care of. So got those taken care of last week, and I got another one coming up this week. So we'll see how that all goes. Let's see. Let's see. Still don't have anyone in here. I may have run everyone off by not doing this for a while. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Get everybody back in here. I'll give it a few more minutes. Give it about 5, 10 more minutes. Then I'll end it. It's one thing I could talk about some of the things I want to talk about, but of course, the interaction is what I'm kind of here for personally. Let's see, what have we got here? We got Widow Jane today, the Applewood Rye. I love this. This is batch 13 of 2023. I think I've got another bottle of this batch 13. It's a very nice rye. Very nice. It's I think it's priced way below its value. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you in here. I had the countdown going. There wasn't no one in here, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll shut her off. Don't have anyone in here soon. How's life been treating you? Well, I already asked you that, but still. That is a solid rye. So my trip here the past few weeks. So I left on the 21st of July, early in the morning, about 7:30. I think we got out of here about 7:30. And then I got home at 5:54 on the 10th of August. So I was gone roughly almost 20 and a half days. I'm doing good as I can, brother. Me and my dog. I'm glad to hear that, brother. Them dogs are something else, hanging by our sides like they do. Um, I learned a few things along this trip that are going to pay dividends later. I also learned a few things about myself. And probably the biggest thing that I learned, and it kind of solidified it, was the fact that I am a fair amount weaker than I was maybe even this time last year, but certainly, you know, past I've lost a significant amount of muscle mass over the past few years, and it showed in my endurance and my ability to, endure a longer day, hotter day. So I was drinking plenty of water. I was eating plenty, but I could not keep my tank full. I could not stay, um, I couldn't keep my strength up. So day 3 was Amarillo to Flagstaff. Um, Albuquerque, or about 100 miles from Albuquerque, I picked up a friend, or he met me there, and we rode together into Albuquerque. Rode down Route 66. Very hot day. Went to the outskirts of Albuquerque, had a meal together, and then I continued on my ride. It was I did that was There was more of my ride left on that day than I had earlier, and I was going to Flagstaff, staying in a KOA, and I got there and I was weak, just wore slap out, and so I pull into the parking lot. And so this pull through, it was a pull through, and then there was a couple of parking spaces right here. Well, the way I pulled in was like I was taking up the whole pull through. So I'm like, let me swing in here and pull into one of these spaces. And I started trying to make a tight turn, and I just laid the bike over, and very, very, very frustrated with myself. Um, I was very top heavy as it was. I had a sleeping bag and tent and cot strapped to the top of my tour pack. And man, I was struggling. Um, they got some helped me get my bike up. I couldn't do it by myself. It just wasn't going to happen. Got checked in, went and unpacked my stuff, went and grabbed a bite to eat. Now I don't know what time this is, but it was getting to be probably 7, maybe. The sun hadn't went down yet, but it was getting there. Went to eat, got out of the from there eating, pulled out, got on my bike, started pulling out of the parking lot, and I'm at the edge of the road, about to pull onto the road, not turning my wheels, not nothing. And somehow, some way, I started leaning a little bit, and I just went over. And so this is 2 times in a day. Yeah, it was. So a young man saw me, come over and helped me pick it up. And even with 2 people, this bike was ridiculously heavy. My last one didn't, I don't remember it being this heavy and this hard to pick up. So I'm going to look into that too. But so from that point on, it really shook my confidence on my slow speed maneuvers. higher speed, regular speed stuff, no big deal. It didn't really affect me too much that way. But the slow speed stuff, parking lot, stuff like that, confidence was out the window. God forbid I get into some gravel, which I've it's been a long time since I've had trouble with my bike in these conditions. I used to go do the motorcycle safety course for fun. We would do safety days, and we'd have all kind of stuff. I'd go out there when no one was out there and do the box. If you know what I'm talking about, it's essentially you go in there and you make a figure eight, and you stay within according to how it's a 24 by 60 for cruisers, and it's like a 20 by 60 for smaller bikes. So never been an issue with me. So that kicked my butt. But I'll figure that out, as time goes along. I've seen a few people come in. I'm not sure if anyone stayed, but well, it is what it is. It's a cute little puppy there, Warren. What's he helping you with? Helping you put together some kind of basket? uh, but yeah, so it was interesting. And that was day 3, and I still had 8 more days on the road before I got to Sturgis. When I got to Sturgis, I was there for 9 days. Yeah, 9 days. And then I messed around and got sick. Let's see. The day leaving Flagstaff was Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, Las Vegas, and I stayed outside of Las Vegas. The next day so that would have been day 4. Day 5 was Death Valley and Yosemite. When I got up into Yosemite, it was stormy and cold. It was like warm before I did that. Got up into Yosemite, and it a little stormy and cold. Got started coming down outside of Yosemite, and it was hot again. Then it was a cool morning. It was an okay morning when I left wherever it was, just on the other side of Yosemite. But as I got into Oakland, it started getting nasty and wet, and I was foggy and everything. Rolled on into San Francisco like that. Run up the Pacific Coast Highway. It was wet that whole day. Ran that all the way up to Garberville, I think it was. I'm maybe confusing that with another. Up into, Northern California, close to Northern California in the Redwoods. And it waited till I had to come back over the mountains before it started warming up again. And then it was like an hour or so. And then the next day was cool all day. I kept my thick hoodie on all day long. And then the next day, I went from cold to hot again. So by this next day, by the day 4, 5, by day 6, I'm starting to feel some kind of way, some cold or something. Day 7, I was done. I was sick as a dog, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't, just hang out anywhere. And so I just trudged on, went on up through Oregon and Washington, and then through Idaho and up into Montana, back down into Wyoming and across Wyoming, back up into South Dakota to finish it off. Um, it was an interesting trip. It was a test of my endurance, which while I passed, I don't feel I did very well. I mean, I made it, so I passed, but like bottom of like I passed with a 60%. um, Enough about my trip. I am pretty sure, so I missed out on a ton of stuff tool wise while I was gone, but I got to looking and, well, where is it? Got to looking at stuff that maybe, I'd missed out on and everything. And noticed that Milwaukee come out with a jump box. Hot Shot Jump Starter. Have you seen the price on this thing? And as far as I can tell, it doesn't come with the battery. It's $300 and doesn't come with a battery. Let me get over to this other site. Let's see. Yeah. Now it says it will start I gotta move. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. Share screen. Y'all heard about this thing? Let's see, what does it say it will jump? Always ready to jump. In other words, if you got a charged battery. Prepare to jump in under 70 seconds. Capacitor is rated at 500,000 cycles. It'll jump. This is with a 5 amp hour, 18 volt battery. It'll jump 8.1 liter gas or a 3 liter diesel, which is very small. 3-year warranty. Let's see what else. Cool box, right? It's cool. But am I wrong? Is $300 seem excessive, especially when it doesn't come with a battery? I mean, look, I understand Milwaukee stuff is expensive, but that seems excessive. And a 5 amp hour battery, I know those are, unless you're getting a forge, those are, you can get them with a lot of stuff. And anyone that's in the Milwaukee line has a few of them lying around. I've got 2 of those, one forge 5 amp hour, or is it 6 amp hour? I don't know. 3 4.0s, a bunch. But still, if I was buying that, wasn't already in the line, and I was looking for a jump starter, I can't tell you that I'd buy it, especially when there's others that are so loved. There's the what is it? I've got one, the NOCO. People love the NOCO, and it does a real good job. I've got the Loki Thor, and it's not as well known, but it's a good one. There's another brand out there that's making a name for itself. That I felt it was a cheapo deal to begin with, but it seems to be decent. What's the name of it? They have their hand in a lot of the computers and stuff like that. Man, why can't I? Top Don. Top Don. They seem to be well liked. My local tool store sells the Top Don stuff. So I mean, would you buy? Would you spend that much? Even let's say you were in the Milwaukee line. Would you spend that much money on that? I would like to get a poll going. Let's uh, don't really have a bunch of people. I'm going to put a poll on the community page and let it run for a few days and see what everybody says. But I just don't understand it. It's a lot of money. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money. Even if it come with a 5 amp hour battery, I feel it's a lot of money. Am I wrong? Uh, See, it looks like I have a few more people in here now. It's still not telling me who's participating. Looks like I've got 4 people in here. If you're in here, let me know. Tell me how you doing. Uh, let's see what else. Haven't really been able to figure out anything that's big in the tool world. Uh, the grip? What's the fast one thing? I'm getting emails from them all the time, and now I can't figure out what they are. Uh, I'll think of it in a minute, or I won't. Well, I can't think of it. They're the ones that make the bits that are designed different now. That to take out stripped out fasteners. Um, they started out making them for I think Mac Tools. Now they got them branded their own, but they've got some shorties now that are dual drive. In other words, you could put a wrench on them, or you could put on a uh, I think you can put them on a ratchet, but that's pretty cool. Also got Tecton is making lean, some small 3/8 drive, small body ratchets. Those are pretty cool, and I'm looking at buying some of those as soon as I can. They've got their service wrenches out. Their U.S. made service wrenches out. Now that's pretty cool. And let's see what else. Also, they got a pretty nice little set of swivel sockets out. Also does, and it's $100 for a full SAE set. That ain't too bad. Um, yeah, I'm with you, Warren. I'm skipping that. That's just a lot of money for that thing, and I hate it too because I love Milwaukee tools, and they're going to produce stuff as long as we buy. I don't. This is one of those. I don't know how long it'll last unless they run some deals on it. Um, I wouldn't mind trying it out. I would love to try it out, but I don't have that kind of scratch just to buy it with that expensive just to see how much I like it. Um, and the fact that it only cranked a 3 liter diesel engine with a 5 amp hour battery, I don't know. Anything y'all seen that's going on that maybe I might have missed over the past few weeks? When was the last video I did? Let me see. No, not the last video, the last live. Uh, YouTube Studio, content live. The last live was July 13th. Ooh, so that was 5 weeks ago, was it? Almost 5 weeks ago? That's crazy. That's why. Yeah, glad to see I found my YouTube password. Good to see you in here, Baldy. Uh, yeah, it's been a long time. I've been checking up on stuff. I messed around. I didn't answer any comments. I did do a couple of videos about motorcycle stuff. I should have did my shorts and posted them to YouTube. That I posted some to Facebook and TikTok about my motorcycle, like daily. This is where I'm going and all this. I just didn't do it to Facebook, and I'm trying to figure out if that's good content for my YouTube. And I don't know. I don't know that it is. As it is, what it's looking like is it's probably not good content. I did get 52 views on my last video, but I don't know how quality those views are. Yet I haven't looked into it. And then I did another vertical video, and I got 24 views on that. So, so we'll see. What else? What else? That's about it. That's about all I got. I mean, I have some tales of the road. Had a pretty good time. I enjoyed it. Yes, I struggled. I struggled on the trip pretty big time from about the fourth day on. Um, day, well, third day on. Day 4 was hot. It was hotter than the Death Valley day, which is crazy. But the Death Valley day, I prepared for Death Valley. I bought a cooling vest. I had tons of water. And I checked the weather, which I don't do. And so it wasn't going to be a super hot day. High was going to be 94 or 96. I planned it to leave early in the morning. And so I was out of Death Valley, and I was on the other side of it before it got into the mid 90s, before it got over about 93, 94 degrees. And I was coming out of up over the mountains. So that wasn't a hot day. It was just, it took me from one extreme to the other, though. I went from a, a kind of hot day to very cold, which was aggravating. I actually rode through the Alabama hills in California. If you if you've ever if you ever get the chance to take a motorcycle trip like that, do it. Was it rough? Yes, it was. It was rough, and it was hard. But Lord have mercy, it was so worth it. Crater Lake is extraordinary. I can't say it enough. I can't explain it enough. Crater Lake was tremendously beautiful. And I've got some pictures that are awesome, and they don't do it justice. Um, if you're not friends with me on Facebook, head on over there. I've got the link in my videos, just about every one of my later videos, to my Facebook page. Go friend me up. Um, you know, I stay kind of busy on it. Um, it's yeah, got some good pictures on there, a few good little videos. So see, that's one reason I won't get it like they have done well. 4,000 out cranks, Duramax right up. Sorry about your bike laydowns, brother. Glad you're okay. I appreciate that. It wasn't like I wrecked my bike. It's more of a I'm sitting there and it gets too I let it lean too far and then it goes over. I I don't know. I'm sure I scratched the crash bars up a little, but I don't know it. I haven't really paid attention. How you doing, Sizzle? How you been doing? How's everything going? I was out in your neck of the woods back on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So probably the 25th and the 26th of July. I was in California. I went through Death Valley, come out in Lone Pine, went up beside the Sierra Nevadas. I guess it's Sierra Nevadas. Went through Yosemite, stayed there, went pretty much straight out to San Francisco, through Oakland, went up the Pacific Coast Highway, come back out, hit 101, um, then run through the redwoods, run out of California around Crescent City. Is it Crescent City? Went on up through there, through Oregon. Yeah. Yeah. Look, you haven't been to Crater Lake. It is, look, I mean, I've said it. It's astounding. I didn't talk to you, phone. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Warren sent me a deal he has. It's a JFEGWO jump starter. It cranks his Duramax. It's pretty cool. So I'll tell you another thing that was just a lot of it was beautiful. Okay. Grand Canyon was pretty awesome. Death Valley was awesome. I didn't spend enough time at the Grand Canyon. I didn't spend enough time in Death Valley, and I didn't spend enough time in Yosemite. I really just drove through it, which I seen it, but I didn't really get to experience it. Um, all of it was magnificent. The Pacific Coast Highway was just awesome. It was a nice windy roads, steep cliffs, and you're getting to see a lot of the redwoods already. Not the big ones, but there's some decent sized ones along through there. Um, then you get on up to the um, I forget where it was. Get on up, and then you Highway One, I think it is. I think it's California Highway One, or maybe it's U.S. Highway. No, I think it's whatever. It cuts off on through the mountains and puts you back over on the other side of the mountains. And it brings you out into sure enough redwoods. Like You've seen the pictures with the people driving through the trees. Well, it puts you out there, and that's US 101, and you follow it pretty much off the redwoods of the rest of the way in California, and I think they are up into Oregon. But there's Avenue of the Giants, I think, which is roughly a 30-mile stretch through some of the bigger redwood trees. And there's groves of them that are just about the size of this room. Um, there's they're not as plentiful this big, but there's some close, you know. And I've got some pictures of me in front of them. What I did is I took a picture in front, and then I walked halfway in the middle of the road and took another picture. The tree was bigger than that side of the road, so it was just awesome. Redwoods were awesome. Now my day up the Pacific Coast Highway was overcast all day long, a little dreary, wet, little wet. I kept my rain gear on. That from There was some point where I put it on and it was on the rest of the way. I put it on at the Golden Gate Bridge and left it on the rest of the way. So all the way till I got to the something Pine Motel in what I think it was Garberville. Um, you ever get a chance though, go. I'm trying to hit up every national park too, so which is another dream of mine. Um, what do y'all? I don't know if I already told y'all. What do y'all think next year is? My big trip for next year. What do y'all think it is? Take a guess. There's four of you, maybe three or four of us in here. I don't know if I'm included in that. Let's see participants. It shows me. It shows Sizzleneck. Doesn't show Warren being in here. Um, that's cool, Sizzle. I wish by the time I got to that point, uh, I think it's California One comes out on US 101. It was a few miles to the south to go to the one with the that you could take a picture with you driving through. I was wore out and I wanted to get to my motel. Um, and I was going north. So, uh, sick week would be cool. Have you looked at the prices for sick weeks? Lord have mercy, they want some money for that. I don't, it's more, I could be wrong, but it's more than like Hot Rod, their deal. Um, that would be cool. It's not. That's not what I'm doing. Um, but like I said, that would be cool. I wanted to do one this year. I still may be able to get my car running, but time is ticking away and I start back to school tomorrow. And I don't even know, I'm in a new building. They built a new building and moved where all my classes are. And yeah, I have no idea where it's at. And so the little community college I went to, 4 or 5 buildings, no big deal if you get there, you don't know where you're going. But WKU campus, it's big. It's a lot of buildings. It takes up, it's the size of a small town. And there's all the maps I'm looking at, none of it have this new building. And so I'm going to get there early tomorrow and figure it out. and I've got an hour and a half drive to get there. But I'm going to leave 2 hours early. But I got to go 3 days a week. And yeah. Anyone else going to take a guess on what my big trip's going to be next week? Next year? Lake Powell, Orion State Park. Lake Powell. Lake Powell. Lake Powell. Is that... Okay, it's Arizona. That's cool. Yeah, that would be cool. It's not it, but it might get included in the next trip I do that's that area, which will probably be 27 or 28. If God blesses me with air in my lungs to live that long. Probably 28. I want to go out and do some of the stuff, New Mexico, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, Lower California, like Joshua Tree, Sequoia, and just, come back up through. I want to do a lot of that stuff. Let's see. Motorcycle Rally Roundup. I haven't heard of that one. So, Alaska. Next year is Alaska. So I'm actually going to start trying to prepare for it now and planning it out. There are people said they want to go. There are people that say they want to go with me every year. I had one person take me up on the first 2 days. He went with me 2 days on the trip. I met up with another friend on day 3. And we rode together for a few hours, and then met up with 2 friends on day 4. We rode together pretty much, we rode together the whole day from Flagstaff all the way to Nevada, and we split up in Las Vegas, and I rode from there to Pahrump. And they met up with some other people. They had a very long day. They rode up to Flagstaff from Phoenix, I think it was. And Lord have mercy, they had a hell of a day. And I thought I was tired. They were just getting going. But yeah, so that's it, Alaska. I'm probably going to do the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as well. I'll probably go up through the regular part of Michigan and go around and come back down through the UP, go down into Wisconsin, go to Milwaukee, circle my way up through the Dells. And I'm probably going to do this not in conjunction with Sturgis. And the reason why it's already going to be a long trip, and if I go to Sturgis and spend my 7 to 10 days there, that's a long time away from home. So I might break it up. And Alaska's going to take forever, period. From Wisconsin, it's probably a good 4 days, I think. I figured it up. I don't remember what it was, but it just seemed like it was crazy. I may do some of those straight interstate rolling just to get to a point to where I can enjoy Alaska, and then do the same thing, get out of Alaska and make those easy roads, long day, or high mile days. I didn't have a whole lot of those on this trip. Most most of my days, except for the first three and the very last one, were roughly average of 400 miles. But they wasn't interstate, so for the most part. So a 381-mile day going through a lot of 35, 45, 55-mile-an-hour roads is a long day. Um, let's see. We've been in here for 45 minutes now, and I've bored y'all to death, I'm sure. I appreciate y'all hanging in there. I appreciate y'all coming back in after I, left y'all hanging for almost 5 weeks. Thank y'all. I'm working on a video right now. I recorded it all earlier. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to try to get it up sometime tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. And hopefully I can get on a decent schedule. Y'all take care. I really appreciate y'all supporting me. It's awesome. I know there's certain people I can depend on being in here, and y'all are it. Thank y'all. Have a great day. Have a blessed week, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.